Hello, everyone. I don't know if you're just tuning in today for the first time, but I'm going to try this new concept of grooming and talking at the same time because I like to do vlogs and, I just love grooming dogs as well, so why not do both at the same time? I always have stuff on my mind, different topics, different mindsets, So hopefully you'll be able to hear me through this clipper noise. We're going to test it out. I might have to get some noise cancellation mic headset type thing. If so, I will get that. This dog has a little growth growing here, so that's gonna have to get checked out by a vet for sure. But this dog in particular just needs a trim today. So I have 5 haircuts to do today. I've already washed everybody, so I'm just gonna let you guys just watch me cut all the hair. And with that being said, I do have a topic matter that I want to bring up today. And it's on behalf of parenting, I guess, and how parenting could be such a big eye-opener for us, just as much as it is for the child. So if you don't know, I do have a son. He's in the 8th grade, gone to the 9th grade soon. And, it's challenging because he's in middle school. And middle school's a time where you're trying to figure yourself out. So we got that going on. Mixed in with just the everyday culture right now with kids being grown and their phones and the food that just doesn't help with their attention span and all that fun stuff. So I have all that going on, but I'm learning so much as I'm raising him. And one of the topic matters that we were talking about this morning was, I asked him, I said, do you know what alignment means? He said, no. I said, do you know what aligning to what it is that you want means? He's like, and I was like, okay, if there's a line A that has oranges, line A has oranges, line B has apples, and line C has grapes. If you're standing on line C, what are you going to get? If you want oranges, but you're standing on line C, what are you going to get? And he automatically said, grapes. I said, yeah, but you want oranges. And he said, yeah. And I said, okay. Because he's been having some issues at school and concentration and focusing. And school is not his most favorite thing academically. He has fun, and he's like the class clown. But as far as school, that's not his favorite thing, the academic part of school. So I said, you have a lot of goals and dreams, and you're about to leave middle school, and this is the time where they start talking about your career and all that fun stuff. So you got to align to what it is that you want, even if it's not necessarily here yet. If you want oranges, but you're standing in the grape, how is that supposed to work out? But you are constantly expressing how much you want oranges. That's the fun part about getting older. You gotta align to these things. So, I send him on his merry way. He goes to school. And, he wants to be a basketball player. But, he's having the issues in school. So I'm like, and he's a class clown for the majority of the day. So, we're getting phone calls about that. And I'm like, you gotta already walk around like you're a basketball player. You gotta really walk around like you're on the basketball team for school. And basketball teams for school, you know, you gotta have your grades together. You can't be going to the office for miscellaneous things. You gotta go with your head on straight and know that everything that you do will affect you and your teammates and your team and your reputation, as far as you even being available to be on your team and be an asset to your team. So in doing that, I'm telling him these things, but I'm getting realizations as I'm talking about it. Because that's what parenting is. It's just one big realization. And I'm like, you gotta align with those oranges, honey. Which means you really gotta walk, talk, and act like you're on a team. Your grades need to be what it would be if you were to get that opportunity right now. Whatever that opportunity is that you want. If you were to get it right now, you should already have those grades and stuff on point. If they were to tell you, you got, right now it's December, so let's say hypothetically speaking, and this was the example I gave him. I said, if they gave you a letter right now that you're already accepted, it's already a go. You just have to have your grades to a 72, which is a 70, which is a C, which is passing, by January 30th. So if today is December 13th, and they say by January 30th, it's already a go. All you have to do is get your teachers to sign off on like a little 3-line paper that's giving like a little review or recommendation as far as what kind of student you are, and just to see. That's all they're asking for. By January 30th. What would you do? You didn't have to do any more tryouts. You didn't have to do anything. They already know your potential and want to work with you. You know, Nike's going to be sponsoring this. So all you guys are going to get the best jerseys and just best gear, best sneakers, best training. You know, the days are going to be perfect that aligns with our spiritual schedule. Because as of right now, our spiritual schedule, we observe the Sabbath day. And of course, you know, for those who don't believe in that, it's a big discrepancy. Like, oh, how is he supposed to be a basketball player if you have to go to church every Sabbath day, every Saturday? How is he supposed to? And the problem is with that statement is that's for only people who don't believe in God. True God, the God that ordained Sabbath day as a day of worship, which is the 7th day of the week, Saturday. So yeah, if that's something that he wants, all he has to do is ask God, and God will move mountains. It ain't nothing for God to make a basketball game fall on any other day other than Saturday, where it's just the perfect schedule for him. But he has to align to that. You know what I'm saying? He has to really show God that this is something that's not going to bring him farther away, but yet something that's going to bring him closer. And that he can just even maintain having a schedule of basketball and trying to keep his grades up. You know, because by law, you got to do 12 years of school. That's just what it is. So yeah, maybe if that opportunity was there, that would be what it would take to get him to do what he has to do, let's say, for that. Oh God, my phone. He has to do for that deadline, right? And automatically he would make it. He would make it into, because he knows like there's something that he wants on the line. So in the same way, that's something that he wants on the line. You really gotta act like that. You gotta align with that. You gotta be standing, doing everything it takes to get to the aisle with the oranges. And right now, you're standing with grapes. You know, you would be coming home every single day, bothering your teachers for all those extra credit reports and assignments, making sure that they inputted it, because every grade and every input's gonna be 1 point closer to the 70, which is a C, you would be doing all this footwork. But because that opportunity is not in your face right now, you don't feel like it's important. And I understand that, but how bad do you want this? You gotta already align with what it is that you want. And, he gets out the car. And then that speaks to so much volume to me, because I'm like, oh my God, Elise, what are you needing to align with? Because that was really profound. I didn't even know if that's what we were going to get in the car and have a conversation about, but I need to apply that to my own life. And I'm on here today expressing to you, what I'm saying, if lane A has oranges, lane B has apples, and lane C has grapes. If you want oranges, what lane do you need to be in? Lane A. So what do you need to do today, starting today? Right? If that opportunity was already there, the opportunity was already ready, all you have to do was just be available for it, basically, because you already done all the footwork. Basically, all you got to do is say yes, because you already qualify. What would be the things that you need to do to qualify? What would the lifestyle be that you need to start living? The habits that you'll need to start taking in? The discipline, that's a big thing. I was stressing that a lot to him. The discipline of basketball players, football players that are on team, like sports, their discipline is different. First of all, they have a coach who doesn't play with them. They're going to tell you like it is. And your behavior will either make or break and affect the rest of the team or not. You know what I'm saying? So, you're not only having to work hard for yourself, but you're working hard for the betterment of the team. So, if I want you to use this basketball analogy for your own life. But if you're constantly being pulled into the office because you're in, you are around these people who have this incident today, and the next week you're around another group of people who have this incident tomorrow, and you were in the bathroom while they were all play fighting instead of going to class, how is that going to resonate, especially when all teachers know that you're on the basketball school team? You know what they're going to do? They're going to hold it over your head. They're going to hold it over your head like, I'm going to go tell coach. And by you telling coach, that means you're going to get in trouble. Right? And there's a chance that you cannot be able to play in tomorrow's game. And what will that do for the team, especially if you're a good player, especially if you're an asset to the team. And if you're on the team, it's because you're an asset. So what will you do all of a sudden that you're not doing now? It will probably be not being around those people, right? Places or things. You wouldn't even risk it. Just the sheer risk would be enough for you to be like, because you got so much on the line. And his dad always stresses to me, he needs to have something on the line. Like, he needs to have his back against the wall in order for him to do stuff. And I'm like, I get that, but that's not the situation that's handed to us right now. So if he wants it, he's really going to have to want it. And he's really going to have to align with it. That's his responsibility. I'm just, because that opportunity is there. It's ready. I told my son, it's ready. Not only for him, but for anybody. Anyone watching this right now. Your opportunity that you want, doesn't matter how big, how far, how vast, how wide it is, it's ready. But if you're standing over there with the grapes, talking about some of you want oranges, that's on you. Sometimes we don't have the opportunity to have our back against the wall off rip. We gotta work for it. And it may not be blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice, but it may be you gotta align with it. Meaning you're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to put in some footwork. You're gonna have to be in the right people, places, and things, in the right atmosphere. And like I said, with the example of the teachers recommending, I guess, referring or whatever. You know, are the people around you able to vouch that you're a good person? Or are you screwing everybody over? Are the people around you able to vouch that every single day they see you dedicated, even if it's just one more thing, one more task, one more deed that just takes you closer and closer to what it is that you want? Or are you messing around, drinking, playing the game every day, seeing what you can get from people instead of putting in that footwork? That's on you. You know, you gotta be a reciprocal to be handed stuff on a silver platter. Sometimes we don't get dealt the cards that we just automatically get everything handed to us on a silver platter. Some people do, and we can actually work our way up to being one of those people that moving forward, maybe our lives maybe haven't not started out like that, but now, you know, I work for a dog kennel as well, so just excuse the noises. Every single time they open that back door, they all want to get out. So, yeah. Sorry, that distracted me. But we gotta align to these things, guys, okay? That's the point. That's the point. And that made me realize so much, because when I have these conversations with him, they don't just leave at him. I get my eyes open too. You know? My eyes are open to what I need to do, what I need to change as well. So, I thought about that in my life. Right now, I'm in the middle of moving, right? Trying to move. Because I feel like I have outgrown my area, per se. So, I went to apply for another, location to live that I thought was really great. It's a work, live, play area, meaning like underneath the complex has like all the cool restaurants and stores and stuff. So I felt like that was something that I wanted to start living in. I thought like, I could network out there. My son could possibly go to a different school with some more opportunities. XYZ, I had already looked at the school. So long story short, I go and I apply. And I didn't get it. So something popped up on my record. I don't know what it is. But something popped up on my record and... Sorry, she's mad at back here. Something popped up on my record. And it shows that basically I'm not eligible. And I'm like, what? I just got a new car. So I don't know if that's what popped up. I don't know if the trade out for my other car went through yet. So it may be still showing in the credit bureaus that I have another one open. I don't know what it's showing. But the problem is that I don't know. And I should know. I should know my status. I should know what's going on with my financial records. But I've been playing the radio in my head for so long. It's been set on. I'm not good at financial things. I'm not good at math. I'm horrible at adulting. I've said just so many things along those lines, right? And how is that supposed to help me in a time like this where I get this, response back like, sorry, you weren't accepted, when I already had all these plans. I already looked up the school. I already know how I'm going to decorate it. I've done several tours on several different days, so I'm all excited to get the news that I'm not accepted, to not know even the beginning stages of how to start to even look to see why I wasn't accepted and what I can do. I am currently standing in the grape aisle wanting oranges. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I've been saying for the longest that I want to work on my financial stability and financial freedom, but just the elementary truths of financial freedom, just knowing about your credit, knowing the importance of credit. I know the importance of credit, but is it something I check all the time? No. Is it something that I'm currently trying to build actively? No. I'm just winging it because I have everything I need. So I'm just kind of going by day. But now I need something else, and I'm not qualified for it because of the lack of care and the lack of knowledge um, that I have incorporated. Lack of care and lack of knowledge that I have incorporated thus far. That ain't nobody's fault but mine. You know what I'm saying? I can't blame nobody for that. So it just showed me, okay, you want this? You want this new way of life? You want to move to a whole completely different area? Same state, just different area. You want to align with what the things that area gives? Guess what? You don't qualify for that area. According to that paper, and according to what they're looking for, because my rental history is perfect. I've never been late on my rent. If they go and check that out right now, the complex that I'm currently living for will tell them, the records show that she's never been late. If anything, I pay early. I have the same employment verifications that I've had for the past almost 5 years now. So that's on point. But they want more. There's something that's on there that makes me not qualify. Because it's a nice complex, I ain't gonna lie. It is a really nice high-end complex. That was the reason I wanted to network out in that type of area. But guess what? I don't qualify. So first thing I gotta do is understand that whatever's for me is for me. I did that to comfort myself as I left getting that news. Okay, well, it must not be for me. So first ask God, okay, is this even a place that you want me to live? I'm over here making all these moves, but is this something that you actually want for me? Secondly, this is what it's going to take. You getting this news and you hearing that you're not qualified is what it's going to take to now start knowing your status. To now start knowing what the heck is going on with your finances and educating yourself on your finances and not just winging it every single step of the way. And then when it's something that you really need, because it's not like I'm going to be homeless. The place that I live at now, I can just resign and it won't be a problem. But if you want to level up, as of right now, you don't qualify, honey. So what do we have to do? What do we have to start doing? What do we need to start implementing? What discipline do I need to start having? What do I need to address that popped up? Because I still don't know what popped up. I should know these things. And I should know how to access these things. And if it's wrong, I should be able to fight back or appeal. But I don't even know left and right now. I don't know what's happening. So what I did first is I calmed down there. Because I wasn't upset, but I was kind of a little defeated. Because I just felt like it was going to go right through like how my other apartment went right through. So the apartment I live at now, which is a beautiful apartment, I guess they check for different things, Their qualifications are different than the one that I'm trying to sign up for now. So that just goes to show we all are. From my son who's 13 years old to me who's 35, we all got things that we need to know our status and align with what it is that we want. Because half of the part is knowing what we want. Another part is believing that we can have it. And then the large part of it is aligning with it. You know? So that's like saying I want to work at the zoo, but I hate the smell of animals. That doesn't make no sense. The zoo is not a place to work if you cannot stand the stench of animals. That makes no sense at all. So I want to level up. I want to make more money. I want to expand my business in a way that actually incorporates other businesses, which means I'm going to have to be able to talk money, but like terminology wise. I know how to make money. Do I know how to keep money, invest money, make money work for me? Absolutely not. So I'm barking up this new tree, but I'm not aligned with it. And that was the realization I had. So for starters, I would love for my son to understand that, yeah, I speak like this, but I'm going through the same thing myself, you know? I'm going through the same thing as well, where I need to constantly be on top of myself and know my status and align and learn. You know, learning doesn't stop. Learning never stops until you're dead. So I don't want him to feel inferior, and I don't want him to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm stupid. Oh my gosh, you know, everybody else is excelling and I'm not. Because he's so smart. He's so bright. He has so many ideas. He has so many dreams and endeavors. He's not the son that doesn't know what he wants. You know? But he's not exempt from needing to align with it. He's not exempt from that. And neither am I. And neither are you listening to this. You have to believe it. You have to be an open reciprocal for it. You know? And then you'll have it. It will come. And I told my son it's ready. For me, it may not be that apartment, it may be another apartment, you know, or another location altogether, or another time. But it's ready. This level up that I want, this new clientele that I want, the area demographic that I want, the education that I want is all there. It's ready. I just need to align with it. So I don't know. That spoke so much volume to me today. And I don't know if it spoke to you in any kind of way, but sorry for we had like a little knot there. But if it did, this is your sign. This is your sign to know what is going on in your life. Okay, and not depend on it to just, she doesn't like the clipper in her face, for it to just, it's okay. Some dogs don't like that big old clipper in their face, and I understand. I wouldn't want that clipper in my face either. But yeah, if you're watching this today, you need to align with your goals and dreams. Don't let anybody or anything make you feel like they're not attainable, like you can't have it, like everyone else can have it, everyone else is doing it, and what's wrong with you? Why don't you have it yet? Don't worry about none of that. None of that has nothing to do with you. At all. I think her mom wants a bow. She has this shirt that she wants her to wear on the way out. That is green and red. I'm just going to make a green bow for her real quick. So, I guess for the remainder of this live, because I have 3 more dogs that I gotta give a haircut to right now. What are your goals and dreams and endeavors? Another one of my goals and dreams actually is to be a content creator. So if you look at my page, I have sporadic videos all over. And, you know, I want to make that be something that's lucrative for me. I want to be able to keep the attention of my audience, not for views only, but also to help you guys, you know. I know that there's someone out there that needs to hear this. Because I'm talking, but I'm also talking from a standpoint where I need to hear these things too, you know. I need to be uplifted and encouraged myself. So I do a lot of the encouraging myself, but I also have, you know, platforms and other YouTubers that I almost depend on, it feels like, for encouragement sometimes. To help me through sometimes I may be feeling a little bit low, sometimes when I feel defeated, sometimes when I feel like I may be the only one going through this, or just flat out don't know what to do, and I need advice, you know. I use YouTube for that, because I'm really busy, and everyone who I know is really busy, and sometimes the people that I know maybe have not gone through what it is that I'm currently going through, or, you know, I just don't necessarily want to physically have a phone conversation about it. I just want to hear other people's take on it, and see if any of it could help me, even if it's just simply making me feel better. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just simply making me feel better about my situation and encouraged. So, I've been wanting to, of course, do the content creation thing, but I did this 100-day journal journey challenge, and I haven't completed all 100 days. I actually just stopped. That's what happens when I get overwhelmed. I just stop instead of pushing through to actually get the effect. But it's something that, of course, I can add this live to it, so it will just add to the 100 videos that I'm supposed to acquire. But with that being said, I was trying to make sure that I, if nothing else, understand what niche I want to rock with on my channel. What niche would be the most interesting to you guys, and what niche could actually help somebody else out there. What my target audience is, what you guys want to hear, because I have a lot to offer. So I just wanted to have fun doing this process of becoming a content creator, and have fun with playing with what works and what doesn't work, and not be so hard on myself through it and such a perfectionist through it, but through the trial and error figure out what it is that I want to, you know, provide to you guys as my viewers. So I got my hair done the other day, and it was a long time coming, so I'm not going to get into that because it's very long-winded, but I do want you to stay tuned for that video of how I turned lemons into lemonade, meaning I, you know, believed that the damage that was done to my hair would be reversed, and I would see better days of my hair back to its original state after being damaged against my will. So, long story short, I go to my main hairdresser and I explained to her everything that had transpired over the last. Somebody opened the door back there again. They all start barking when that happens. But I had explained to her everything that had transpired. And I told her, yeah, everything that happened. And she had the live going while she was doing my hair and everyone else's hair that was there at the time. And she expresses to me how she has just been monetized. So not only did I go just to get my hair done, but I also did not know that I was going to be encouraged that day. So it was like a 2-for-1 amazing day. So she's explaining to me the ins and outs of how she got monetized and how she just simply goes live. That's all she does. And I think she went from having 3 viewers to like 15 to 500 and then to where she's at now. I think she had almost 4,300 one time watching. And she's just like, I've had this page for so long. And I've never had this much activity and traffic and flow and comments and repeat viewers and watch time hours by just simply pressing live. She said that she woke up one morning and the first thought that came to her head was go live. So she just listened to that thought. And she didn't get discouraged with the first couple days that nobody was watching. But she just continued to press live. And then now she's up to 43, 1,000 people watching. Or is it the 43,000 watch time hours? But the point is that she got monetized within 2 weeks. And she's like elated about that, Because she's a go-getter like me. We like money. So it's like another stream of income, And it's a recording of her doing what she loves. So now she's going to invest like in a better camera. But she was explaining to me like, I just do it with my phone. I'll figure out the rest as it goes. Which this is things that I know, I know how to figure out things. Figure out the rest as it goes. Just start now, blah, blah, blah. But the difference is she put it into action. So I was able to basically really just feed off of that energy that she was omitting of just like, sorry, just another knot there. She was full of knots, this dog. Inspired by her energy and what she was doing, and realizing I do the same thing just for dogs. So that's what she was telling me. You're a hairdresser too, but for dogs. Just press live. How many days do you do dogs? I said every day. She's like, okay, then just press live. Don't worry about who's watching it or not watching it. Just press live. Get comfortable with setting up your camera and pressing live. Make sure you got battery, and that's it. And just watch it all come together. So that made me realize that, okay, I can get my watch time hours. I could get on the momentum that's going to result in me getting monetized, which is one of the initial goals. I just got a random wanting for Red Lobster biscuits. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. The initial wanting of getting monetized mixed in with, what was the other thing? Finding my niche, which is dog grooming. I do this every day, and this is something that people actually do enjoy watching. People love their dogs. People love dogs in general, and that's something that people actually like watching and viewing. So why not get on? Because at first I was just gonna, which some lives I probably won't talk as much as I'm talking now. I may just have the it on mute. Because that's another thing. She said they can't even hear what I'm talking about. because she's talking to the clients that she is recording herself doing. So she's talking to them, and as she's talking to them, she is recording herself. So she's like, I'm able to obtain all these views without even having my sound on, without even engaging with the viewers. They just, I don't know where they get the time from, but they just sit down and watch me, you know, do people's hair and sit down and watch it. And she was showing me all the repeat people that come on faithfully every day. So she's like, you can do it, at least. You can do it. Just start right now. Start right now. Start tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm also, for the 2-for-1, going to talk about some, you know, vlog-worthy matters, which later I can edit and chop and screw the important parts, and hopefully get some momentum, get some views, get monetized, while also, you know, having the funness of watching dogs get groomed mixed with the nourishment of all the fun topics that I like talking about. Even if they're not necessarily the fun topics, they may be a little intensive, but it's also the measures of leveling up, getting better, evolving, healing, and the like. So I thought that was interesting that happened. She came out to it. So today, I had got my hair done last week, and today is the first day that I'm going live. So cheers to the first day of me going live. And cheers to me being consistent with it. So this is the little shirt that Mom wanted me to put back on. Let's not mess up your bow, cute girl. Okay. I think she came out cute. This one has cataracts in her eyes, so Mom wanted to make sure that her eyes was really cleared. Make sure that she doesn't have any hair in her eyes. So just make sure her face looks good. Right, cutie patootie, she's so cute. Let's get any loose ends. So business-wise as well, my son is going out of town, so I want to use that time. So even if I'm not able to move to this area, right, anything could happen between now and then with the moving situation. Who knows? They could call me and be like, hey, look, yeah, you got this on your record, but, you know, we could work our way around it. I'm believing that will happen. How about that? And if it's not that place, it'll be a different place. But, what was I gonna say? I'm gonna use the time that my son is gone to go and network in that area. Try to get some of the clientele still. So yeah, maybe not be able to full on move, but I will make myself available. I will make myself available to at least gain the clientele and the camaraderie. Am I saying that right? That area brings. You know? Because all I can do is what I know I can do. And I heard that today. I heard that today in a podcast that I watched randomly. Never watched the guy before, but I watched it randomly. And this is just a disinfecting rag that I have some, what do you call it? That I have some disinfectant on that I just take the hair off the table with. Alright, anyways, I watched this new podcast today, and that's one of the takeaways I got from it. He said, you know, I'm just in line, or I only want to focus on what I know I can do, what I know I'm supposed to be doing. I don't want to focus on what I don't want, what's currently happening that I don't like, what's not serving me, people, places, and things. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on what I know I can do, what I know, what I expect from myself, what I know I'm capable of, what I know I'm worthy of, and the like, right? So that was really profound, if you ask me. I didn't even know I fully remembered that until right now, the second. So that goes to show you how important it is, what you're taking in, whether you think you're remembering it or not, whether you think it's affecting you or not. It is. Okay? It is totally affecting you. And you need to make sure that you got that on lock. Make sure that you have that on lock, what you're listening to, and be intentional about it. Because I intentionally wanted to set the mood and the pace for my day after getting that news yesterday that I was not accepted, to be positive and to know that everything I'm supposed to have is already ready for me, that I will get everything that I want, and if it's in God's will for me, it will be done. And I only want what's in God's will for me. So with applying all that, I'll make sure that I also make my environment, my conversations moving forward, the things I watch and listen to align with those things. That's my job. That's nobody else's job but my job, right? So, you know, I didn't know my brain remembered that one part from that segment. That segment was about 20 minutes long, but that part was really profound. You know, I'm only worried about what I know I can do. And my only focus is on me starting to do it. So that way I can reap the benefits of me starting to do it. Starting to do it and doing it. So that way I can reap the benefits, you know? Not on what this person's not doing, what this person is doing, how this person's unfair, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know, how this thing is bothering me, that thing. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on what I know I can do. And one thing I know I can do is be positive. One thing I know I can do is groom the heck out of some dogs. One thing that I know I can do is, you know, do the best I can every single day with what I have in front of me. One thing I know is that I'm thankful. And I don't want to ever be out of the alignment of gratitude because I'm too busy complaining about what I don't have. I'm too busy complaining about what the next person's not doing. I'm too busy harping on what could possibly be stressing me out, whether it's an inevitable thing or something that, you know, I just have to deal with it. Like, it could be the situations with, you know, this or that. Like, I don't even want to get into it. Why? Because I don't even want to be on that frequency. So I guess what all that I'm trying to say here is get yourself in check when it comes to what you're thinking and what you're telling yourself and what you're listening to. Because you don't know, you may not be 100% aware of how much your brain is taking in and computing and applying and sorting out into the next moves that you make without you even realizing it. It's called maneuvering through your days, through your week, through your month, through your year. So did you set yourself up for success? For certain things to be programmed against your maybe full acknowledgement, where you already set yourself up for greatness, that if you ended up taking in something that you may not fully know that your brain is now applying, it's okay, because you already made sure that you covered your bases and only allowed yourself to hear things that was going to nourish you. So regardless, you're winning. You know? That's your job. And it's free. Wonderful. It's free to do this. I'm all for free. I love me some free 99. I do. One thing I love is some free 99. And it is free to make sure that my people, places, and things that I allow myself to be subjected to is managed well. Why? Because that's my job. And my job is being a gospel worker. My job is being a mom. My job is being, here to service these pets. But my number one job is to make sure that I am always managing and monitoring what comes in and what comes out of my ear gates. That's my job, and I do not take it lightly. I'm sorry. Side note, if you want to know how to make a bow, let me show you real quick. Sit down, little girl. Sit. Okay, we'll just stand right there. I want to show you how to make a bow real quick. If you're tired of buying bows for your dogs, you can just get yourself a spool of ribbon and make your own bows. Or you can even use these on your kids, your little girls. So you would take the ribbon and you would make a heart. Sorry, no. You would make a breast cancer sign. This happens to be pink. You would make a breast cancer sign, okay? So you would take it, make a breast cancer sign, or a pretzel, beginning of a pretzel, and you would take this little floppy part and press it in, and that will create the bow. So I'm going to do it again. This, crisscross it over, and depending on how big you want it, you can kind of make it. So I'm going to make this one a little bit small because she doesn't have that much hair and she doesn't have that big of a head. Look at her breathing because she knows we're talking about her. Okay. Can you sit down? No? Okay. So I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. And I'm going to press it in with my fingers. Then I'm going to take the rubber band and just tie around the middle about 3 or 4 times, making sure that it's secure. And then I will just cut the tips because she'll need all that length there. And there you go, a little bow. So let me see. I'm gonna just make a little top knot here with my comb. So everyone's getting all cleaned up for the winter break that's coming up. Everyone's gonna have a bunch of days off, so they wanna cuddle with their furry friends. So I gotta make sure they all smell really good. I'm just gonna cut the tip of this little top knot off because I just want it to look a little bit neater than what it looks like right now. Make it look like she got something done. There you go. Eventually I'm going to get a little ring light for my phone in addition to the microphone attachment. So let's clean up this face a little bit. Because Mom's stressed that she really wants the face cleaned up. So I'm going to get along that lip. Okay, and then I'm going to get the bridge of that nose. Okay. And then I'm going to just get the sides. Sometimes they have like this little, looks like a little drainage area there. Don't try this at home if you're not educated with scissors, please. But if you're a groomer, I don't know. I just felt like maybe you should see that. Sometimes we overlook that little piece there. And even if they're having like a long beard, this one's not. Mom wants her face to be short. You can still cut out that little drainage area because it collects like a lot of crust and nobody wants that. So she said to cut the face shorter, but to still have it look like a Yorkie. So I did her mouth. Now I'm just going to scissor up her face a little bit more. I'm going to scissor this side a little bit too. Can you stay still, little girl? So sometimes when you see me like pushing them, you know, I'm just directing them because they don't take verbal cues. Kind of like horses. They don't take the verbal cues. They take like nudges. So if I'm doing this, it just usually means stay still or move or like just hold your head up just a little bit more. I can't tell her, hey, can you just hold your head up a little more? They don't subscribe to that. So I kind of just make them, by the way that I push it up, lets me know. Like I can push it up and tell her to stay, watch, without verbally saying anything. So people always ask, like, how do they stay so still? So I use my finger, kind of like a bird perch, and I just kind of stop her from moving forward. So I would do that, and then she'll just stay. And if she starts putting her head down a little bit, I'll just redirect her to keep her little head up. I can also take my fingers ever so lightly and just kind of crown her mouth to navigate her head how I want it to go. So now I'm just going to focus on rounding out her little feetsies. And then I'll go back to her head at the end, just making sure that all that's nice and neat. Moving right along today. So what else is there to chit chat about? Let's see. How about dating? Ooh. So I am banned from having boyfriends. No boyfriends for this. But when I do get approached or proposals to share a coffee or a dinner date, what are some things that I need to consider? At the age of 35, single mom, let's see what else. Wanting a provider, desiring a provider, desiring somebody who has respect not only for me, but for themselves too. Because if you got respect for yourself, then you're naturally, I'd like to think, gonna have respect for other people. because you're going to want certain things done to you. So you're able to recognize that that is somebody's boundary or standard and stuff, and you're not going to fight against it yet, but instead you'll respect it because you require the same thing in return. So, hold on, let me get this real quick. Okay, so sorry about that. Yeah, so I want someone that I can know that they are going to respect me the same way that I'm more than willing to respect them, but some common ground needs to be covered first. Like being equally yoked. So respecting someone comes in the form of maybe not agreeing with them necessarily, but respecting them, even if you have to respect them enough to leave them alone. Sometimes people think respecting means to stay and deal with, no. In some cases, yes, if the reciprocation in other areas is, something you can be like, oh, it's not a big deal, because at the end of the day, they're, amazing in this way in my life. My life is so much better now that they're in it, because we're able to support one another in different ways. That I'm not necessarily talking about that. I'm talking about sometimes the respect comes in the form of, because I don't agree with that, doesn't mean I want you to stop, but I don't want to deal with it. It doesn't align and it doesn't work for me. But my goal is to not change somebody, make somebody change their demeanor. Oh, I wonder if that's better. Change their demeanor, right? So, yeah. My job is to simply be the best version of myself that I could be every single day and make sure that I respect my boundaries, my standards, my needs before I expect someone else to respect my wants, my standards, my boundaries, and my needs. So I'm really big on that when it comes to these prospects that if I have the time, I will share a coffee, or a dinner, or if they approach me in the grocery store or something like that. I look for those things. I look at those things. I'm paying attention to those things. So I don't know who needs to hear that. But both ways, if you're dating men or you're dating women, keep that in mind. It's your job to respect your boundaries before you expect somebody else. So what does that look like? You know that you don't like giving your number out to just any old body who hasn't earned it. There's so many platforms out there that you can give your point of contact to in this day and age. Maybe before it wasn't. All you had was email. But now, there's so many other things that if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to. There's other ways to go around it. This person needs to earn even your phone number. And if they get upset about it, that's on them. They should respect it. They should know, like, ooh, at least this is a person who at least does some trial and error and runs before she or he just gives. You can do this to the females too. I'm telling you, the right person will respect it. I'm going to put this little winter bandana on, and it has pink little snowmans on it, so I don't celebrate Christmas. I haven't celebrated it for the past 7, 8 years now. But I'm okay with winter. Winter, snowflakes, the color blue because of the snow. I'm okay with. So I purchased these bandanas that don't give off the Christmas vibe, but they give off the winter cold season vibe. So that way I can still make them look cute. So yeah. She's done. On to the next one. Ugh. Let me drink some water. I have been trying my best to stay hydrated. I'm not a person that necessarily likes to drink water. So if I could start off with just drinking at least 2 of these a day, it's completely way more than what I was drinking before, and I'm so sad to admit that to just millions of viewers, but it's the truth. I heard water not only, cleanses you and hydrates you, but it has a lot of frequencies in it. And again, it cleanses you, it just keeps everything flowing and not stagnant. And of course, it affects your hair, your skin, your nails. Helps you feel better. So sometimes I just have to take 2 seconds, stop, and hydrate myself. And I've been going to the gym. I got a personal trainer. I'm trying to work this part down. This is making me look more chunkier, but if I lift this up, you'll see. I have like this tire going on here. This is not cute. It's not like a big pudge or anything, but it's just like the beginning of just like a little tire growing there. When I lift up the pants, it kind of helps a little bit, and I'm sucking it in right now, but there's a little tire, and that comes from just all the cornbread that my church is feeding me. But I also want to grow my booty a little bit. Not to show all y'all my butt, but I'm just showing you guys my fitness goals. So I got a personal trainer to help me work out my core, which I always skip whenever I go to the gym, and my legs. So these are all efforts that I'm making as I'm growing older, as I'm changing, as I'm evolving, as my body needs different things in this season of my life. It is my job to keep up with those things. Something as small as drinking water, something as small as incorporating the gym or some sort of exercise. So, I guess let's go on to the next doc. We have 2 more to go. So everyone wants longer because of the Pluto. Hold on. Wait. Everybody wants longer because of the cold season right now. So dogs that I was doing that were shorter haired, they're trying to keep a lot of the hair instead of cutting all the hair when it's hot. They usually like to go low. So I had to make sure that I called all my clients and confirmed that they were not getting the normal haircut they got last time, which was probably short. So these are thinning shears. I am at the point in my career where I do not demat anymore. If you didn't take the time to take care of your dog, I'm shaking it. That doesn't make me a bad groomer. It doesn't make me a lazy groomer. It just makes me a groomer that, like, if you're not taking care of it, then you don't get to have a dog with long hair. Now, if it's just, come here, if it's just, you know, a couple knots here and there, like this is a big knot, but if it's just a couple knots here and there, yeah, I'll remove it, no problem. As long as it comes out with the thinning shears, then I will remove it, but I'm not gonna sit there and brush out every single knot and the whole entire body just because you want your dog's hair to be fluffy. You gotta earn that responsibility and maintain that responsibility. It's not fair to the dog that A, they have to sit there and be dematted because none of that feels good. And now the dog hates me because you care so much about the vanity of your dog instead of caring about how it makes the dog feel, and can you even maintain it at home? That's the question. That's the big question that all groomers really want to know. So on behalf of all the groomers, we want to know, why do y'all ask for stuff that you know you're not going to maintain at home? And let's not leave a moment of silence so I can get an answer for that. Get yourself a wide tooth comb, because what I get a lot is people saying that they brush their dogs. I brush my dog, I brush my dog. And I'm like, yeah, but did you comb him? So the comb should be able to go through from root to tip, like how this is going in from root to tip. If it stops, like right here I feel a knot, which I can either shave out or, I'm probably gonna just cut this out with the scissors. It's behind the ear, so you won't be able to see it once I cut it out. But there's a knot. See how it's snagged? That means you need to work on that area. If I get the brush, which is what a lot of you guys are doing, is you're just brushing over, right? So it looks nice, but you're neglecting the fact that underneath the area that looks really nice has knots. And you won't be able to know unless you are running a comb and you know which area that you need to work on. See, he knows there's a knot there, so he's just like, eh. So to make it easier for him, and one swipe for him, I'm just going to cut it out so that way he doesn't have to deal with it. He doesn't have to deal with me brushing it. And it's behind the head, so you won't even see it. So this is 2 knots already. You guys should be the one maintaining that. There should be no knots on your dogs, okay? And if you know you're a person that's gonna, that doesn't have the time, or the dog doesn't let you brush it, then just swallow the pill that your dog needs to be short. Swallow the pill that you got a fluffy teddy bear dog that's gonna walk around looking like a chihuahua, or a freshly born deer. Just swallow that pill and like it. Or, maybe over time I'll start doing videos of like different tools that may make your life a little easier to maintain at home, and tips and tricks, and like the schedule that you should be on to maintain them up until their next grooming appointment. I might try to incorporate that as much as I can. I'll keep that in mind, because I know every little tip helps. Yeah, so behind the ears is where you're going to find a lot of knots. You will find a lot of knots behind the ears. So you should be able to comb through everything, like so. Sometimes the beard. See, this owner, even though there is a lot of knots that I've cut out, it's actually in really good condition. She just missed a couple spots, and I can deal with that. I can work with that. When the whole dog is matted, and you're like, yeah, I know it's matted, but I do not. I absolutely, positively do not want to shave my dog. At that very moment, is where you will hear the precious words, which are, if you're like me, either you take it back home, You try to brush out the knots. Then you will proceed to come back. We will check and make sure, oops. We will check and make sure that he has no knots before we resume the grooming. Or you allow me to shave, right? Some owners will go and actually come pick up the dog and try at home for the next 3 days to brush them out and then realize, okay, yeah, this is not. And I'll show them the comb test. I call it the comb test. I'll be like, this comb needs to go through, okay? Do not bring it back unless the comb can go all the way through. The legs, there's 4 legs. He doesn't just have 2 legs, he has 4. Make sure all 4 are combed. Armpits, the body, the back of the legs, the back of the ears. You've got to make sure all that stuff is done before you request to not have your dog shaved. So, it's tough love. Somebody's got to do it. And I'm taking it upon myself to be the one to do it. Because let's say a person's like, oh, well, I'll pay the extra money. It hurts. I don't need your money. I don't need it. When it comes to making them suffer because you have brushed them for the past 4 weeks. You cannot pay for me to hurt your dog with over brushing and over, spending so much hours of making them stand there while I take out every single knot. Excuse the barking and the screaming in the background. I work for a kennel, so every single time you open that door, they all scream. There's always that one, probably a husky. Huskies always scream. They're very vocal dogs. Once they stop screaming, I will find another topic matter to talk about, because I always got stuff to talk about. This dog's eyes are very pretty. And I feel another knot here. Let's see. Knot. Okay, I'm gonna direct him to stay still. Pluto. Stay still. Okay? Stay still. Ip. So I'll tell them a lot of ip that makes them stay still. I will take the side of the comb and kind of pat the side of their head when I want to redirect them to behave and not move, because whether you're using scissors or you're using a clipper, they need to stay still. So it's not about being like, oh, please stay still. See, as soon as I put that soft voice, they're like, oh, I can take advantage. When I put my serious voice, or I'll even growl, stay still. Stay still. And now they hear the barking. Stay still, Pluto. Once they hear all that barking, I lose all their attention span. You can also use their beard as like I guess like a lever almost, to help direct their heads to staying still. And I have really big hands. I have abnormally large hands. I like to think for a woman. But it really helps me out because I'm able to cradle them a lot, and it makes them feel secure. So even though it may feel like I'm like bear hugging them, or like, oh my god, she's grabbing them. Oh my god, she's grabbing them. Yeah, I'm securing them. because as you can see, I do not use a noose unless the dog is really bad. Which all my dogs are good, right? All of them are so good. They're so good. But I do have some that, you know, they need the noose. The noose is just a little clip that clips them to the top of the table. Because if you notice when your dog comes back from grooming sometimes, you'll hear them coughing. And it's not because they're sick, it's just literally for the last 30 minutes, they've been pulling on that cord that abrupts their trachea. That's where the trachea is located. And for me personally, I just don't like it. So if I know that the dog, as long, obviously I'm paying attention always. Even if it looks like I'm not paying attention, I'm paying attention. I try my best to not put their trachea through that stress because long term, it's not good for them. Once or twice is fine, but long term, it's not good for them, especially when they're old. He's young, but I've been grooming him since he was a puppy, so he knows he needs to stay still. Right? You know. But when they're really old, you'll hear that coughing. And then even after the grooming session at home, they're coughing because their neck is now sensitive. So I'll hold their ears like I'm holding it. Lola Bunny, when she put her ears in a ponytail, that's what this reminds me of. I will hold his ears back like this. I'm not holding them hard, I'm just holding them because I want to see the shape of his face. And the ears are kind of distracting me from what the shape of his face is. So that's why I put them back so I can actually see what shape his actual face is, or the shape that I want his face to be, per se. Because maybe I may want to change the shape. I may want to make it more circular or less circular. Okay, so I've done a large part of the face. Mom does not want the body too short, I believe. So I'm just gonna, I guess, trim the body to match what I've done to the face already. Let me just do his ears real quick. They're not used to me talking this much because I'm usually quiet here in this room, so they think I'm talking to them, so that's why they keep moving. They have no clue that I am recording myself, so they're like, yes, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, nothing, just stay still. So that's why me cradling them with their hands helps a lot in efforts of what I need them to be doing for me at that moment, which is simply staying still. Right? Okay, so let's work on the body now. I think I'm gonna do a yellow guard. I usually do a blue. I don't know if you guys have the wall attachment blades. I think this is wall. Is this wall? Or Andes? I don't know. Whatever this is, the blue. I don't know what brand this is. I think I'm gonna use the yellow today. I always put a 30 blade underneath. Because I just kind of want to get, I just kind of want to get some of this stray hairs. You can't really see it. He actually doesn't look that bad at all. So I just really want to just shave it. I know you can hear those clippers loud and clear. I'm basically just going to skim over what he got going on now. I actually might use the purple guard over the top. I always forget if the purple is longer than the green. Yeah, purple. I was right. So purple's a little bit longer than the yellow, shorter than the green. I promise I'm gonna get that tripod. But until then, yeah, I like this purple, the light purple better. Ooh, this looks nice. Like I said earlier, Mom maintains this dog very well. So the dark one is able to just slide right through it like butter. The problem is you guys bring these dogs matted sometimes to your groomers, and you want a longer cut, but it's really hard to do it if there's mats along the way. It would just stop. You know, you'll be snagging instead of being able to just slide right through. Especially these golden doodles. I don't know if the breeders are not telling you guys how much maintenance they need. You know? We just sold on this teddy bear dog, but it comes with so much maintenance. So it's so much more ideal to achieve a teddy bear cut when you actually maintain your dog at home. Like you saw earlier, I did remove a lot of the knots with just the scissors, where you can't really see a blunt cut anywhere too much. So that's you know, I don't mind doing that, but a whole body cut where I'm just stopping every single step of the way because there's knots. You know, they may not say it, but I'm gonna say it. You don't do that if you cannot make sure you're maintaining them at home. If you can't maintain them at home, you need a short haircut that you barely have to deal with. And yeah, it may not be as cute, but it's all you can handle. You have to know what you can handle. You cannot bite off more than you can chew, because this is a life. Even though it can't talk, it has feelings too. And it's not fair to make your dogs suffer because you want a fluffy haircut. And I mean, dogs are over my previous mustache. So, yeah. See, they stay still too. So much better when you're not putting them through that agonizing pain. Gonna spin a little bit of the top still, so that way it blends. Get the rest of the body, start having like that like blunt cut in the back of their head. Some dogs, I guess it's okay, but I personally like it to blend in with the rest of the body. That's just always been how I've done it. Now I will take the low blue. Come here. I will take the low blue and do the armpits and the inside of the leg. A, because it just looks neater and I don't have to do as much scissoring. And B, it helps the owners out with maintaining the armpits, because it's not necessarily the most easiest thing to brush in between grooming, and I know that. To actually be kind of dangerous. So I will take it upon myself to cut the inner armpits a little bit shorter than what I would cut the rest of the body, so that way it takes longer for that part to grow. So that way the owner doesn't have to deal too much with focusing on the armpits, and they could just focus on the body. Because those armpits are a hit and miss kind of. And over the years, I've been able to really blend the armpits short where you can't even tell. And it actually defines the leg, I noticed. And what I'll also do is I'll create a short butt. Meaning I will take even the gluten, not along the whole body, but I'll kind of just skim the back of the leg right here. Because this is where they're sitting, when they're sitting outside on the porch with you, or outside in the grass, sunbathing. So they don't need all that fluffy hair right there, but you also don't want to make a baboon butt. Baboon butts are never cute. So I will kind of skim over the back end of the legs, creating, so I'll start short, but I'll kind of just skim over. I'm not necessarily pressing down. And I feel like that just, it's all about when the owner does want it to be long. This I'm really talking to my other groomers. You may not fully understand this context if you're not a groomer. Hopefully you can hear anything I'm saying loud, clearly. But if you are a groomer, when an owner asks you, this is just my tips, and an owner asks me to keep their hair fluffy, I'm still considering areas that I know they don't want to grow as fast. So how can I blend into a very fluffy cut, right? How can I blend in maybe shorter in different areas like the armpit, the back of the legs, the back of the ears, without making it so distinct, where I'm actually like taking a 7 or a 10 because they want that part short? No, how can I blend it with the shorter guard comb where I know, okay, they may not have even asked for that, but I'm taking it upon myself to make sure, okay, let me make sure I get these areas really good, because that will stretch out their long haircut longer for them. He's so cute. His face looks cute. I can see some areas where I still need to trim up at the end. But I didn't want to trim too much until I figured out what I was doing with the body. Another thing is sometimes I will, like I did the purple guard on the body, but I think I'm going to do the yellow on the legs. And I do this sometimes. I'll do like the legs shorter than the body, so it still looks fluffy, but again, the legs are one of the first things that get matted, because they're the parts that are rubbing against the carpet and, getting wet and have the most friction, I guess, versus the top of the dog. Like here, is where a lot of the rats live. I'll try to get you guys a better angle. Hold on. Let me set y'all up a little better. There we go. Hey, Pluto. Let's finish this haircut. Okay? So yeah, I will take this part too. Just kind of make it neat. So I'm still giving them the fluffy hair tip that they wanted. But I know. And some owners I won't do this. If they really want to save every single inch, and they really want fluffy legs, maybe even a little bit fluffier than the body, or I'm really trying to achieve the ultimate fluffy look, then I won't do this. But for this one, I don't know. I'm being called to take the legs a little bit shorter. And it's not taking off much, but it's taking off at least something that makes it look like you got a fresh haircut. You always want your lines to be really nice and fresh. And I'm just a groomer that does a lot of the work with the guard comb, leaving me, that's just how I was trained, leaving me with less scissor work at the end. I do the majority of the work with the clipper. That way at the end, I'm just doing like a little snip here, a little snip there, and that's it. I don't spend too much time scissoring for the most part. And sometimes the chest too, I will take down with the comb that I used on the legs, whatever that was. In this case, it's the yellow comb. And I'll also take the ears back. I'll show you again what I just did. I'll take the ears and kind of fold them up, stretch the head, and I will kind of take the neck down a little bit. Not much. I'm kind of scooping and then going straight. Because when the ear falls back down, you can't see it, but at least right here is not gathering moisture and having the issue where it creates the knots so fast again. Hey, stop. You do it again on this side. It doesn't like this clipper too close to your face. Have to do it fast. Okay, now I let the ear fall. I don't know if y'all caught that. But then I let the ear fall back down. Alright, so here is the finished product of the guard comb situation. So now I'm just going to go in, shave the pads, feet. If I haven't already, I might have already. It looks like I have already. Sometimes I forget so many feet. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. So boom, take the hair off the pads, and then I'll just scissor. Then I'll scissor up the face a little bit more, and we're done. After that. Okay, so I'm just going to get my comb. I like to get the comb. You can use the brush or the comb. Sometimes I'll use the brush too. And then I'll just make a round foot. Nothing crazy today. Today's actually a really good, simple day, so I don't have bad dogs today. Sorry to call them bad, but I guess I should say misbehaving dogs for grooming today. All the dogs I have are pretty much acquainted with the drill, meaning they know they need to stay still to get their hair cut. I'm going to take a straight scissors for the legs right now, just for some area of the legs. Because I did a lot of the work with the guard comb, there's not much to cut, but the little bit that there is, I'm just going to use straight scissors for that. Not too much. So I'm just literally just doing the tips of everything. Nothing crazy. Yeah, they're watching me. Okay, so now we're gonna just scissor the feet a little bit more. So let's talk about grooming etiquette real quick while we're at it. So I was trained in what I like to call a bubble. Meaning I was trained with 4 glass walls around me. So you gotta know how to deal with these animals, whether people are watching you or not watching you. It should be consistent with how you treat them. And I truly believe, and I know a lot of the clients will vouch for me when I say that they have a lot of anxiety with leaving their pets, you know. They're scared, they think that, you know, the staff is mean to them, or they're just nervous because the dog is nervous and they don't want to leave them, but they have to. It's policy. So, really considering like the animal language and how to handle them, so much to the point that if you do have to groom them in front of the owner, it shouldn't cause you any anxiety or any discrepancy, because you're the same way behind closed doors and in person. So I have to say, I'm really thankful that I was trained the way I was trained, because my foundation of grooming stems from being watched every single hour on the hour. I would look up and just see people taking pictures and smiling and thumbs upping and just watching, sometimes even for hours. And I was 100% okay with it, because I'm confident, but I'm also have nothing to hide, is what I'm trying to say. And the dogs can feel that. So when people ask, like, oh, how do you get the dogs to be so calm? And I'm like, because they know that I know what I'm doing. Have they looked at my resume? Absolutely not. They could just feel through my energy that they're in safe hands. You know, I'm not like shaking, like, you know, like, what do I do? I'm so nervous. Oh my God. Like, no, I'm going in and I'm doing my work. So they're like, okay, she knows what she's doing. She doesn't have that nervous energy. It's the equivalent to your doctor coming in to do surgery and you can see the look of fear in their face. You think you're going to trust them to do your surgery? No, you're going to ask for another doctor. So even with your clients too, speak like you got some backbone. Of course, be polite. Don't be rude. Be open to hearing all of their questions and all of their concerns. Don't just brush them off. That's another thing that I feel like sets me apart from a lot of the experiences that people may have when they go to the grooming salon, is they don't feel like they can get all their points across and all their questions and concerns. And I truly feel like no dog should be groomed or serviced until their owner feels 110% comfortable. They just shouldn't. So you need to carve out that time to do a consultation with the pet owner and make sure that all of their fine specifics, you know, that they want to get addressed, or they may want to keep. Like, let's say they've been growing their dog's eyelashes since they were a puppy, or they've been growing their dog's tail since they were a puppy. They never cut it. And because you rushed the client, the pet owner, through the meet and greet, you didn't get that detail, and now they pick up the dog and they're upset because you literally cut something that they've been keeping since it was a puppy. And that just comes from rushing. You should never rush your client. Why? Because A, they can miss some details. B, they won't feel as comfortable and secure, and the dog will feel that. The dog will be like, okay, my owner's not comfortable. Versus you making your dog owners comfortable. Then they're like, okay, well, mom's okay, dad's okay, so therefore I'm okay. But if the owner is nervous and they're just too shy to say that they're nervous, you need to be able to read that. Because they may just put in sheer trust in God while handing you their dog when they inside don't feel comfortable. You, as an experienced groomer, and if you're not an experienced groomer, you should be training your staff and shadowing them in the one-on-one consultation with the clients to make sure that they are able to read the room, read the body language of the client, and make sure that the client is comfortable with what is being done to their dog and 100% on board with you as an individual and what their dog is going to be receiving in their grooming session today, and that you fully understand their concerns and the ins and outs of their dog. Because even though all these dogs look the same at the end of the day, right? It's just a bunch of breeds, they all look the same. They are all different, right? They're all different in their own way. So they may have a nervousness, they may have had some trauma as a puppy, they may have neurological issues, whether you can tell from looking at them, or sometimes you can't tell until the owner describes, like, oh, you know, this happened or that happened. But if you don't give them the time, or they don't feel like they have the floor to express these things, you're missing out on vital information that could help reduce the stress and the overall experience, and like how well you can actually execute the groom and hit the customer's needs. They may be having, I get this a lot from my clients, like, you're the only one that actually does the face how I want it to be done. You're the only one that when my dog comes back, it comes back normal. It doesn't come back weird and acting weird for the next couple of days. It takes them a couple of days to get back. Your dog should not act weird a couple of days coming back from the groomer. They should be the same way that you picked them up. You know, so I make it very clear to them that they can express to me any of their findings, anything that they maybe want different next time too. Because a lot of this is trial and error as well, especially in the first trimesters of you grooming an owner's pet. You know, it may take a couple times to get the haircut exactly the way the client wants it. But if you're not communicating, you can never find that common ground. Or that customer can never be like, oh, well, I know I asked for this short last time, but I really don't like it short. So this time, can you not do it? You know? And don't get offended when they say stuff like that. We're all trying to, like I said, come to a common ground and make sure that everybody is happy through this process, especially the dog. Because they're the ones that got to walk around with this haircut. You know? So you want something to be comfortable and happy. And you want customer loyalty, and that's how you build the customer loyalty. You build it by making sure that the clients are contacted. Train your staff on how to communicate with the clients. I can't stress it enough. Teach them to put their phones away when they're talking to a client. To carve out time to talk to new clients. Maybe not repeating clients. Repeating clients, they know that you know what they want done, so they already trust you. But the new ones, they need that extra time, that extra TLC to feel comfortable. And if you make that customer feel comfortable, it's called the wow effect. If you wow them in that first grooming session, I promise you, you'll, unless they move to another state, you'll have a client for life. People will drive miles just to take the dog back to you just to get the haircut done. I've had that happen to me so many times. I've had clients get upset. If I don't tell them, like let's say I'm moving locations or moving facilities, if I didn't tell them that I was leaving. Like, they get offended. Like, you know, I would have followed you to wherever you're working at next. You know that you're the only person that can cut Rusty. You want to build a clientele like that. You want to build a clientele and you want to make a staff, and hire a staff, and have a staff on board that is only producing those types of reviews. Okay? You don't want nothing else but that. In 2025, unless, God forbid, they make robots, Because then we're all in trouble. That cut dog hair. Oh, nice. Yeah. Unless they make robots that you can plug in the information, you know, you want clients that feel like they have hit the jackpot and they don't want to go anywhere else. And they don't want anyone else. They will tell you these exact words. They will say it. They will say, I don't want anyone else touching my dog except for this person or that person. That's the type of rapport you want. We have got to stop the trauma that the pet owners and the dogs are going through. Going to facilities to get a simple haircut. I understand that dogs may be traumatized when they come back from the vet. Okay, sure. A lot of them are getting a series of things done against their will. Nobody likes shots. I get it. But dog grooming? You want to hear these quotes, I guess, quote unquote, from your pet parents. You want to hear, I don't want anyone else touching my dog except for you. You want to hear, this is the best face that my dog has ever gotten, or the best haircut my dog has ever gotten. You want to hear requests. Don't get intimidated by a staff full of requests. Don't get intimidated when maybe you're working in a salon where you don't get as many requests. Focus. See why. Okay, what is this person doing that's causing them to get these many requests and I'm not getting this many requests? Instead of hating, pay attention. Okay, what are they doing? Do I need to go home and educate myself on breed specifics? Do I need to take a couple more classes? Do I need to spend, I'm telling you what it is. Do I need to spend more time talking to the pet parents and introducing myself? Do I need to send home little report cards with the dog to try to build a relationship with the client? What do I need to do to make sure that that client knows that I am here to serve their needs when it comes to their dog's grooming service, you know? It's a part of the job. Cutting the hair is a large part of the job, obviously, but the customer satisfaction, I believe, is the dogs aren't paying for their grooming. So it's really the customer who you really want to make sure you are taking good care of. Okay? So I can come up with more things that you should hear. I love how my dog doesn't have to sit in a cage for 45 hours when you groom them. So that comes with efficiency. And you got to figure out how that works for you. That may be something else in some other videos that I'll show. Some tips and tricks, especially if you're working for high volume clinics or facilities, dog boarding, dog grooming facilities. You know, they have a lot of dogs on the schedule. How can I still make sure that everyone's done in ample time? Because they have a lot of clients that just really don't like the fact that they have to leave their dog for so long. That's a big one that I hear a lot. Okay, why? You know, maybe you need to have a staff that has block scheduling. If it's a staff that doesn't work fast. I don't want to say fast. Because fast implies that the dog is not going to get the most one-on-one service. And they may have some parts that aren't catered to properly. Kind of you just rush through it. So you don't want to use the word fast, but how can we figure out with the staff that we have? Do they need block scheduling where, you know, the dog comes in per every hour, every other hour, or is this a groomer that can handle? Like for me, all my dogs are already here once I get here. So I don't have dogs coming in different parts of the day. I do all my dogs and I leave. Because I have built myself up to the point where I can do all the dogs and get them all done and sent home correctly and still have them here where they're not here all day. Unless the owner wants that. Unless the owner wants a break. A lot of the clients are getting their houses cleaned, houses fumigated while the dogs are away. So if anything, they're thankful. They're like, please. Or they're at work. I'm not talking about those clients too much. I'm talking about the ones who are really stressing. Like, I love this facility, I love this place, but I just hate that my dog has to be here for 5 hours. Don't just brush that comment off your shoulders, but try to address it. And, do what you gotta do to put each client in the bracket that they belong in. Because we always stress on how the dogs have anxiety, right? My dog has anxiety, he hates being groomed. But we forget that the owners be having anxiety too. And they be blaming it on their dogs, but they really have anxiety. And they say, oh my dog, it's not the dog, it's actually them. Who literally doesn't want to be away from their dog for that long. So for me, personally, yes, I do offer Zoom grooms where you will have to pay like an extra fee to have your dog done fast. But I like to play around with that, especially if I have loyal clients. Some more loyal than others. It's nothing for me to be like, you know what, I know that this lady's older, or this man is older, and I know that they just prefer to have their dogs done quickly because basically their dog is their whole world. Okay, they ain't got nothing else going on, they're retired. I'm not going to charge them a Zoom groom fee. I'm just going to make sure that that's the first dog that I get done. Why? Because that's just how I flow. And you know what that does? That creates customer loyalty. So yeah, I could be, I guess, sacrificing myself a little bit and prioritizing more than the other in a way. But in the end, that is how I lock down. That is my secret to making sure that I have my customer loyalty, if nothing else. Because each client is different, just like each pet is different. Every client is different. So if I know, because I spoke to the client and I can hear, and I've been doing this for so long, I've been doing this since 2008, so I can hear when a client has anxiety. And it's not the dog who has anxiety, the dog is fine. Dog, if anything, the dog's like, please, I need a vacation from her. Which I would never tell the client that, but you'll be surprised. Or the dog really does have anxiety. The owner's fine, but the dog really does have anxiety. And the owner will really appreciate you if you, A, notice that the dog has anxiety and work with their anxiety. So maybe not necessarily be a faster groom per se, but it could be a, okay, I'm gonna give them breaks. I'm gonna have somebody else come in and hold and rub their head as I'm working on this part. They're gonna get water breaks. I may take them out for a quick walk to get that energy out. And then give them a little treat. Let them watch the other dogs get groomed. Then proceed to groom. It's all different. It may not be making them be the first ones to get out. That may not be what the issue is. But you have to take this seriously, and you have to know how to work with each one of your clients that best serves them. That's your job. That's your qualification. You know? And if I were you, I would take that with pride, honestly. This hair is not cutting today. Sometimes my hair is so dense that it almost feels like static. It'll just, there's no knots. It'll just won't go through. Can't stand when that happens. So this is my last one for today. So this live is going to be done as soon as I'm done with this last one. But I would love for you guys to shoot me any messages, words of encouragement, ideas, products. I would love to get brand deals. I'm totally open to trying out new products. Okay. Wow, none of these are gonna cut. You saw it was cutting perfectly for all the other dogs. But yeah, I would love to try out new products. And I will make videos of my honest opinion. I'm never going to just say what someone wants me to say. I mean, I'll follow a script, but if that script really isn't going to do what it says it's going to do, then I'm going to say it. So take that with a grain of salt, but yeah, I'm open to brand deals. I'm open to, if you have any requests on certain breeds that you want to see cut, any issues that you may be running into as a groomer. I have a lot of experience, especially with people, with the clients, and the dogs too, but especially with the business half of it. I will definitely address them. Even if you just need a motivational, like you just started, and you're like, trying your best to get to the same level as maybe your co-workers and stuff, because grooming can be very competitive. It can be very intimidating sometimes, especially if you're working with other people. So if you're in a situation like that, never hesitate to reach out, okay? I will amp you up and have you feeling like the hottest thing next to rice cakes, okay? Once I'm done with you. Or even if you just want to learn how to groom. Soon I'm going to start some courses. I'm not claiming to be the best groomer. I'm really not. My clients may say something different. My clients are sweet. They just love me so much. They feel the love. They make sure that I know that they love me. But I've never claimed to be the best groomer. I actually have some limiting beliefs as far as what type of groomer I am, because I know how amazing groomers are, and I've seen such amazing work. So I know that I'm not the best groomer, but I know I care about these dogs. That's something I know for sure. And I believe that if you care about them enough, that's usually way better than anybody who, may be the best groomer, but they're just in it for the money, or they're just in it to just get as many dogs done as possible. Or they can have a short fuse, short temper, patience not so good. Then, you gotta pick your poison there. What do you prefer? I would prefer somebody who loves the dogs, And I'm still gonna do a good job. Like I said, I just want to claim to be the best. But I've been doing it since 2008, so that stands for something. I've seen a lot of things. I've worked with all different shades, all different breeds, all different ages, all different issues, temperaments. Dog language I'm pretty good at, because it's my first language, how to speak dog. Guess it's getting tired of me talking. He's like, can you just finish this haircut? Stop talking so much. Yeah, so I really hope that these lives take off. I'm going to edit these lives and make them probably into separate shorter videos. Each time that I transitioned into like a new topic, and then post them that way. So if you want to watch the rerun, that's more than likely what I'm gonna do. But hopefully this niche kicks off today, December 13, 2024. I may have found it, guys. I may have found it. That's what I'm feeling right now. I feel like I just, in Miami they would say, you just hit a lick. I don't know what that means. But they would say that a lot. If you just ended up, coming up on an opportunity or I guess a lump sum or something. I don't know. It's a ghetto slurm term. But just basically I think I found how I want to go about finally with my YouTube channel and meshing my love for dogs with my love for leveling up whimsically, the love for my journey when it comes to these dogs, when it comes to my personal life, when it comes to me being a mom and all that entails. And just my journey, I think that I may be on to something great with these lives because I'm really speaking from the heart, honestly. Speaking from what I know. And speaking from what my spirit is telling me at the moment. In hopes that somebody out there needs to hear it and is encouraged. And it's fun. All in all, nothing else. It's fun. And it's not about the tail. It's not about catching your tail. It's about the fun you have chasing it. So I think I'm just going to be quiet now and stop chattering so much. Just let you finish indulging in me cutting this hair, okay? I love y'all so much. I truly do. Over and out. I'm going to go on mute now.